So, I don't know where I've been for the last 4 years, but I didn't even know this game existed until I just randomly saw gameplay of it on YouTube. And let me tell you, I was blown away with what I saw. The title of the game is Black Myth Wukong, which is just a badass name. And it's an action RPG that's being developed by a Chinese studio called Game Science. So this game looks the closest to photorealism that I've ever seen. And just for me, it seems like it's been years since graphics actually looked better. It seemed like it kind of peaked with last gen. But I gotta say, this game is just wow. It looks good. But it wasn't just the graphics that got my attention. But it's also just the fact that this game is about Wukong and the journey to the West. And I just love the Journey to the West story. And there may be one or two games, but I'm surprised no one's really adapted a game to that story. Or even the character. And I do know that Dragon Ball is heavily influenced by Journey to the West. And I'm just a really big Dragon Ball fan too, and I'm definitely excited to see the source material play out in game form. And for those that are unfamiliar with Journey to the West, it was an old story that was published in the late 1500s in China's Ming Dynasty. And the novel itself tells the story of a Buddhist monk named Ting Sanzang. And in the story, he travels from China to India in order to obtain religious texts. And along the way, he recruits a number of disciples. And most famous amongst them is Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. He was originally trapped under a mountain set by Buddha, and this was for his mischievous doings. And in the story, we see Sun Wukong grow during his time as Ting's bodyguard, and eventually just reaching what they call true enlightenment. Essentially just becoming a godlike figure who just exhibits incredible powers. Some of these powers include super strength and just the ability to manifest clones of himself. And if you've ever seen Dragon Ball, Sun Wukong is the inspiration behind Son Goku. And with Dragon Ball, originally it began as a loose adaptation of the Journey to the West story. And there's been other games that had Sun Wukong in them, but Black Myth Wukong is the first time that players will be able to control him in a big budget AAA title. So that's kind of why this is a big deal. And it's going to be intended for both Chinese and international audiences. And just judging by the gameplay, you could tell it's heavily inspired by the Souls games. And is it just me, or is there just a ton of Souls-like games now? I feel like every year there's a Souls clone. I mean, I love the franchise. In fact, Sekiro is actually my favorite of all the From Software games. But it's just interesting how now everyone just wants to be like Dark Souls. And it looks like Black Myth Wukong is going to be closer to how Sekiro plays. It definitely looks more fast-paced. And the gameplay video has over 10 million views. And it's definitely become one of the most highly anticipated upcoming RPGs. And just from what I could see, the game just features incredible Chinese landscapes. The combat also looks tight, looks like it has great gameplay. And for me, that's all a game needs. It needs to be beautiful and it needs to play really well. And I've gotta say, it's been a long time since I've been hyped for a game. Usually now, games are already released, so I don't really have time to be excited about them. But this is something that I actually want now. I'm actually really excited about it. And hopefully it doesn't get delayed. So far it has a solid release date, August 20, 2024. And this release date was locked in during the Game Awards of 2023. So fingers crossed, hopefully this game comes out this year. And it's also pretty cool how 2024 is the year of the dragon. This is considered a very special year in the Chinese zodiac, so I think it's just the perfect timing for this game to release. And the game is set to launch on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series. And I also like how they actually gave Sun Wukong in the game the real abilities that he has in the Journey to the West story. This includes the extending staff, and anyone that's familiar with Dragon Ball knows about Goku's power pole. In Journey to the West, Wukong had a staff that was called the Ryuhi Jingyu Bang. And this was a staff that was able to shrink and extend at will. And in the trailer you could see Wukong using his staff, and he's able to ascend to great heights with it, attack foes, block arrows, and also just battle these giant enemies in heaven. And we also see that he has a cloning ability. In the novel, Sun Wukong was capable of just generating clones of himself from a single strand of his hair. And in the gameplay, it looks like this ability runs on a timer. And we also see him with a shape-shifting ability, and there's also a time-freezing ability. And we also get to see him riding on a cloud. And again, for anyone that's a Dragon Ball fan, you know that this is Goku's Flying Nimbus. And this is based on Sun Wukong's magical cloud somersault ability. And this ability let the Monkey King able to travel just thousands of miles in an instant. So I definitely can't wait for this game to come out, and it's my most anticipated game of 2024. Anyway, let me know if you guys are excited about this game. Do you know anything else about it? And have you known about it for the past 4 years? Anyway, thanks for watching.